Hi there, welcome to Apple World. So Aubrey O'Day is keeping her foot immovably on Diddy's neck, and she isn't moving it at any point in the near future since she just emerged to tell her experience working with Diddy as an individual from the Young Lady bunch. Dainty Kane and Young Lady. It is more regrettable than you might at any point envision. So Diddy didn't simply supposedly attempt to take her and different individuals from the group. He likewise supposedly attempted to take them out to different men. She's likewise talking about the most recent essay claims that were brought against Diddy, and you all know this is one major smelling wreck, so Aubrey is a piece of the Young Lady bunch. Dainty came from the time the gathering was shaped in 2004 until she was thrown out by Diddy in 2008. The gathering was comprised of 5 young ladies. Andrea the First Light was Woods, Shannon, and Aubrey, and they got together to form a band while they were on the MTV unscripted TV drama. Making the band after the show finished, they were endorsed by Diddy for his terrible kid mark, and everybody anticipated that they would become hotshots. After all, Diddy had previously established himself, and the mark had delivered 2 or 3 major names in the business. While they accomplished distinction, things were not going so well in the background since Diddy and Aubrey knocked heads a ton. Aubrey was exceptionally stubborn and had areas of strength of her own. Furthermore, this didn't agree with Diddy, who we as a whole know likes to control everything and everybody. This prompted him to have a great deal of contention on the grounds that Aubrey was not the sort to simply pause for a moment and hush up and pose an inquiry about what it is that you need to seem to be. However, would you like to seem to be a playboy? Close friend, would you like to appear as though you're finished with all of that? No? What is it that you need to seem to be? However, what is it that you need to appear as? I'll let you know. I'm not centered around me. I'm centered around what this gathering ought to resemble and how I ought to fit in this present circumstance. You like huge hair, however you like enormous hair, like large hair. You like a great deal, and all that really, I don't. I could do without enormous hair. I could do without specific cosmetics. I'm entirely adaptable to what you believe I should do, and I've worked with all that you've tossed. But I'm not seeing the adaptability you've shown me. Your hair individuals came in today, and they said this is the way it should be. You know what I'm talking about? You're pushing your own picture. However, I'm not stressed over whether my hair is straight or wavy. Whatever hasn't arrived in that frame of mind to have wavy, straight, large cosmetics, whatever I'm here in a gathering to sing with my gathering. She was not going to allow Diddy to drive her into being who she wasn't, and she made that more than clear to him. Well, it just so happens. The genuine explanation that Aubrey and Diddy frequently got into it was that Diddy was supposedly attempting to crush in the background. If you catch my drift, he purportedly attempted to attach with them, and when they turned him down, he began to carry on and mistreat them, and they couldn't shout out on the grounds that he had hit them with an ironclad in day, so they were essentially stuck yet, as it just so happens. That wasn't the main time that he attempted to hit with Nas. Recollect how in September he made a major demonstration of giving his specialists back their lords. He said it's simply making the best choice. I feel that we as an industry and as individuals need to thoroughly search in the mirror and make a shift forward. It's tied in with developing, showing others how it's done, and transforming an industry that needs it in a world that needs change. I'll let you know one thing that I truly do believe individuals should realize: it's anything but an exposure trick or any such thing. What he didn't uncover is that before he gave the experts back, he had really constrained them to sign ANDA, promising to never under any circumstance discuss what they saw when they were at Terrible Kid Records at the time. It appeared as though a token of generosity, yet understanding what we know now, there was another side to it. You see, at the time he was at that point mindful of Cassie's looming claim, and he was clearly attempting to produce as much good exposure as possible before things detonated anyway. A portion of his previous craftsmen could see through his activities, and they would not sign the NDA, and one such individual is Alern, and to get that I need to deliver him for any cases or bad behaviors or activities before the date of the delivery. I need to sign ANDA that I won't ever vilify Puff, Awful Kid, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs music, or on the other hand, MI or Sony at any point in broad daylight. So what's going on is craftsmen, some of them, not every one of them, are being given streaming eminences and possession back over our distributing on tunes that we composed. When you realize that you need to stream a melody multiple times to earn point a penny, definitely okay, it's many dollars and me. As someone that is a young lady's young lady, I hit everybody in my gathering and said, totally don't take this arrangement. She likewise guaranteed that the experts were just worth about $800 or $900, under $1,000, and Diddy was attempting to make them transfer ownership of their spirits. She figured out how to get the different individuals from her gathering not to mark the NDA, and Gene Bargain upheld her on this. All his craftsmen, when he gave him their distributing back, I'll give you all distribution, but you can't talk about it. Janice Cole, Justin Kana, Sony, terrible kid, or whatever happened. You all can't discuss absolutely no part of that, except for there are a few craftsmen that said nothing and didn't sign it. And they are ready to discuss anything they need to. And I believe that is those young ladies that were, I think, Dainty Kane. I figured 2 or 3 of them didn't sign it since she didn't sign the NDA. Aubrey is allowed to discuss her involvement with Diddy and young lady. She has been spilling. She uncovered that Diddy would frequently set the young ladies in opposition to one another in an attempt to cause division, so he had some control over them. Better stories that we need to tell during a period in music where there were watchmen. There were individuals that claimed marks like Puff running things, and the way that the divisions and the disruptiveness happened, and the things that we encountered between one another and us against the framework are crazy. She then, at that point, guaranteed that besides the fact that Diddy Body would disgrace them, yet he likewise attempted to connect with them and blew up when she turned him down. Why someone would need to fire someone might you at any point. Give us a tatum, I wasn't ready to do what was generally anticipated of me, not ability-wise, but rather in different regions. Men were different young ladies doing. I was the one in particular that was in those kinds of positions under Diddy MH. He was the hardest individual that you can work for, and it was torment and not the work part of it yet. The other stuff, mind games, like simply every one of the young ladies were so separated, and the men and individuals running it had their hands in it, moving everything in through the men that I was near, and that was extremely horrible. I don't think any of us have recovered from that Diddy. It would be like you're not hot any longer. Like what happened? You have nothing as you have no bends. You're seeming to be simply not appearing as though I can't get individuals to feel that you're my great-looking individual, while the remainder of the gathering generally obliged what he needed. Aubrey typically persevered, and that makes sense of why she and Diddy utilized to battle so much, and why he detested her thinking back with what we know now. Diddy was harassing those young ladies in clear view. However, at that point, unscripted TV dramas were really ruthless, so the vast majority didn't respect it, or that what he was doing was off base. However, at that point, Cassie's claim occurred, as well as the wide range of various claims that have been recorded against him, and individuals are at last beginning to draw an obvious conclusion and acknowledging how wrecked it was. For one, recall how Diddy believed them should dress a specific way and do things a specific way. Well, incidentally, the explanation wasn't a result of their public picture, but since he was purportedly them out to different men and he needed them to really great for the men he was giving them out to, and I'm giving you this, Aubrey. He stood up there and he said before many individuals, we were in the studio and I expressed something to him and left the studio. He said, yeah, and drugged their off and got them and pipped them out to my scratch. He said, I'm a medication taking care of them out. I'ma get them generally on, and I'm a pimp their out to my eye resembled in the event that someone kids and left. This is likewise screwed up. Yet it sounds precisely like what Cassie uncovered in her claim that he did to her. She asserted that he would get her sedated up and afterward compel her to take part in specific demonstrations with male escorts, that he constrained her to enlist. He likewise recorded her D's demonstrations, and despite the fact that she erased them, the recordings, he generally had various reinforcements and had the option to re-establish them. Subscribe Apple World more the videos.